Hey, what's up? It's Kayla. I'm back. I'm very sorry for the short hiatus. It was not intentional, but we're back. We're here and we have some transactions to go over. Oh, wait, that's how that works. There we go. We have transactions to go over. So I'm very excited about this because some of the transactions are kind of weird, but it should be fun. It should be cool. And this is specifically for post going into week 4. We already have some transactions going into week 5 and week 6, so we'll cover those when we cover them. But for now, let's do this. We have the first transaction that I will be covering is a trade between the Bug Army and Texas Pexes. The Bug Army are getting Fortress, and Texas Pexes is getting Vigavolt. So I'm not going to cover the other side of the trade, the Vigavolt side of the trade. The Fortress side of the trade is really interesting because I think it's perfect for this team, which is like Rapid Spinner, hazard control. Fortress is just a slam dunk, especially considering this team. I'm rating this team a lot differently compared to other teams. I think that this is an A plus transaction. The real only improvements that you can make are just selling some of these guys or figuring out a certain play style that you want to play with. I think Abska should be used more. Hint, hint, wink, wink. The speed control is fine. It's absolutely fine. And obviously, you already have a Weber or two or three or four. So that's not really an issue giving up. You don't have the greatest special attackers. It's really just Mega and Frostmoth setup. That's really it. And then Arceus obviously could do whatever it wants, but like, I don't think losing Vikavolt is that big of a deal, especially when you get so much better out of it. I think this is an A plus transaction. Moving into the Texas Pexas side of things, this is the more interesting thing, in my opinion, because as you can see, this team is very different. There's no Vigavolt on this team. That's because Texas Pexas traded Snorlax, Dachshund, and Vikavolt for Iron Leaves, Basculegion Female, and Morpeko. I have very mixed thoughts about this deal. I think it is a net positive because I think you're actually getting offense and doing stuff, which is very specific, I know, but you have both an offensive water, you have a defensive water. I think that is perfect for this team. I'm really hoping Pex is used more in a T-Spikes role, just because losing Fortress is big for this team. You don't really have that hazard control anymore, besides Morpeko, which is like, it's Morpeko. It gets Rapid Spin just like, I don't know, Basculegion Female. Or what's a better example? How Flygon gets Earth Power. It's like cool, and it's like you could use it, but how often are you actually gonna bring it? Probably not. So I think Morpeko is just here for looks of just like, oh, I have a Rapid Spinner. So I'm like on the move as a whole. On that side of things, I feel like the identity of this team has shifted a lot too, from the defense, hard hitting Snorlax and being able to sit on things. I feel like that's now gone, which I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. You don't really have, again, the same hazard control. Flygon's gonna have to run rocks, which is like, do you want Flygon running rocks? And that's why I brought up you have to be running T-Spikes on Toxapex, because that's literally your only other hazard that probably is gonna come. And that, to me, that's not great. You have Iron Leaves, you have Basculegion Female now, you have both of those now. You have Flygon, you have Rotomine. They want hazards up, they want to be able to force uncomfortable decisions, and so I think you could see where I'm like, I like it, but I also have a lot of questions. So I'm really gonna have to see this in action. But for now, I'm probably leaning towards the more negative side, just because you lost Fortress, which is a big hazard control of this team. I don't know how I feel about that. So next, we have the rivals of this team, the Veilstone Fishers, making a transaction. Are they on this side? No, they're on the bottom side. And they are making oh my god, I didn't do it. Oh my god, we're doing this in real time. So they traded Lurantis, Dusclops, and Slacking for Tauros, regular Tauros, and Floette. I think Tauros is fine. I think it's a good wall breaker, so I don't really have any issues with that. And it could run like Intimidate, it could run Vest, like good speed control. I think it's a fine pickup. It means low kicks doesn't necessarily have to be the speed control of this team. Tatsugiri doesn't have to be running Scarf. So I think Tauros in general is a really good transaction, especially considering Slacking and Dusclops weren't really going to do much for this team. I think it's good. You don't really need a spin blocker. I think just because you have Fan and Bronzong as just durable things that can switch in and are fine with taking a spin. And then Floette, I don't know how often it's going to come. Its wishes aren't going to be great just because it's 54 HP. And the mons you want to get wished on are what? Muck, which has doubled almost. Every mon almost has doubled. So it's like, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. It's going to be running Eviolite, which is obvious, but it'll be interesting. I'm curious how it's played, of course. It does have Baton Pass, which I think is a little interesting bit. Is could act as a pivot, which I think is cool. But it's the Terra Captains, right? The Terra Captains, I think, are usually the most important part of most teams. And the current Terra Captains they had, which were what, Slacking, Masquerain, and somebody else, Dusclops, to me, they were just very lackluster on this team. I think Tatsugiri is a fantastic Terra option. I think Veluza is also a fantastic Terra option. Veluza being a setup sweeper, Tatsugiri being a tank, or just an insane breaker. I think it's fantastic for both of them. And it really makes you think more with this team, because before it was like a Masquerain could come as a Terra Captain and it was lacking. Impacts are going to be hitting hard and I have to bring a ghost type or something that can switch in to it. But they weren't really names, right? I think these are better names to have as Terra Captains, because they're going to make you predict and they're going to make you think about what they're going to do. So I think fantastic Terra options. Masquerain is a Terra Captain I'm completely fine with. I'm so glad Floette is not a Terra Captain, because that would have been horrible. But Masquerain could still Quiver Dance, it could still Sticky Web. I think this team's going to work a lot better. Again, I'm a little curious to see what the results are before I make a claim. I'll be very interested to see how this team functions and works. I don't think I play them, so I'll just be lurking. And then the final transaction for the week is the Tokyo Pachirisus, and this was a team that I had in the front. This team just continues to baffle me of poor management. Like, this to me, I wouldn't say it's like the Luca trade, but like, it's a lateral move. It's a lateral move. I hate lateral moves unless they actually make sense. I think Tauros Paldea Aqua is really good. I think it could be offensive and tanky. I think it does a lot of great for you. I just don't like that your only Terra Captain's Articuno. I just have problems. I have problems with that. I think speed control is a little bit better, but you still really... You barely address the issue of, oh my god, what is a threat on this team? Because your best special attacker, still Typhlosion, your best physical attacker is now both Tauros, which, fair enough, but Dodrio? It's not a Terra Captain either, so it's not like, oh my god, it's Dodrio. It's, oh my god, it's freaking Dodrio. I'm gonna T-bolt this thing, or switch it. I'm not, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really not a fan of this transaction. I think Tauros Paldea Aqua is insane, and I think that is amazing, but Dodrio is like, I don't know, and you lose Chansey, which is like, the big loss about Chansey is you lose a rocker, you lose status, you lose a lot of what made this team actually function. To me, it was kind of the mon on this team because it could do so much, and now you don't have that again. I think you could have done a lot of cool stuff with Chansey, but that's just me. I think Tauros Paldea Aqua is really good, but you don't really address the actual problems. You don't address the lack of special attacker. You don't address the lack of pivot. You don't address the lack of breakers. I have a tough time taking this team seriously still, especially when I see stuff like Thunder Jolteon, Rain Dance Thunder Jolteon. I'm like, are we doing this? Are we actually doing this? I think you're gonna have to run very interesting sets for it to work at all. Articuno doesn't feel well supported as Terra Captain, because when I'm looking at this team, well, now Tauros Padea Aqua jumps out, but Articuno's the next name, and I don't know, I'm not too scared of Terra Articuno. I don't feel like it's well supported compared to a team like Terra Braviary or not even that, like Terra Executor. I'm scared of Terra Executor because coverage, it gets Sun support with Klefki. There's really good synergy. Like that I'm scared of. This I'm not. This I'm just not scared of. So I think it's a lateral move. If I had to give it letter grade, I'd probably also give it a C because it's just a very whelming transaction where you get better in some aspects, but you don't address any other aspects. And now you only have one transaction. So are my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed. So week 4 is on the way. I will see you guys next time. Peace.